In this video, I'm installing this overhead storage rack. What's going to be nice about this is it cranks up and down, so I'll have some nice storage in the garage that I don't need to be on a ladder to use. So this is the GL1 by a company called Fleximounts, and it is a 4 by 4 foot storage rack that'll support 300 pounds. And we're going to be testing that out later in the video. Now, full transparency, Fleximounts sent this to me for free to check out. I've had some other companies reach out to me before to do similar types of videos, but this is the first time I've thought, A, that this is actually a good product, and B, this is something I could actually use and hopefully my viewers would be interested in. And don't worry, they don't get to shelve any of my opinions. Sorry, terrible pun there. But really, they don't get any editorial control over the video. The agreement was they send it to me and I get to review it, and that's about it. So we're gonna dive into using it and installing it and what I think, and hopefully you guys find this helpful.
And if you do find this helpful and you want to see more like it, please take a moment to subscribe or even leave me a comment.
Every good video, I guess, includes some form of unboxing. And all I've really got to say here is, despite getting the good old FedEx treatment, it arrived in great shape. Instructions, always important. I'm just going to give these a quick read and dive right in. All right, so to install this, one of the first things we need to do is attach some brackets to the ceiling, and we're going to jump into that in a second. But most of you would use a stud finder to find the joists in your ceiling. I've got a bit of a unique scenario in my own house. Unfortunately, I was around for the construction of it. And my ceilings are double strapped, and the stud finder isn't going to be very useful in that scenario. So double strapped means I have two pieces of strapping on top of each other to make way for some utilities that are crossing the joists, so they didn't have to drill a bunch of holes in the joists. Fleximount sends some hardware, which is perfect for, I'd say, 99% of you guys. So this hardware is going to go through your drywall into the joist, but I have two pieces of strapping plus the drywall, so by the time I reach the joist, I'm not going to have much thread left. So be aware of your own installation challenges. So what I've done in preparation for this is I peeked in the box before my unboxing, and I bought some longer bolts. I made sure I got the same grade hardware, or better, and I basically got 3.5 inch lag bolts that will more than clear my double strapping and the drywall to get into the joists, because I don't want to attach this to my strapping. I want to attach it to the ceiling joists. So you might be asking, if I can't use the stud finder, how am I finding my joist? Or if you're in a similar scenario and you don't know, what might you do? You could do a test hole, which I've actually done to mount other things in the ceiling. Or I know, based on some pictures, that I have a joist directly above, not the end of this wall, just inside this wall. So I am measuring forward 12 inches because my joists run in this direction, plus half the width of the web. So not 3.5. I'm giving up a 1/2 inch for the drywall. So I'm going to come forward an interval of 12, in this case 5 feet plus 1.5 inches. So time for the dog tags. Here's part of the reason why having this storage rack is going to be helpful. Oh, good. Here's part of the reason why having this is going to be helpful, because we have all sorts of doggy trailers and kids trailers that we are going to have a nice place to store. So as we go on bike rides, on rail trails with the puppies, and now a little kiddo, we can have a place to put all this stuff because you accumulate it fast, and it'll be nice and easy to put up and take down, and I'm not going to be struggling to throw it on the top shelf somewhere. So I am particularly excited to have a nice place to put all the things to make our little weekend explorations more fun and easy to do.
This next step is pretty straightforward. You just tape the template to the ceiling and make sure the slots in the template line up with your joists.
This template really does make it easy. Little cutouts that match the shapes of the brackets. So we just hold them in place, and then we mark for the holes.
So let's quickly repeat that 3 more times.
All right, so what I'm doing is I got a small pilot hole. I'm getting up through the drywall. I got a considerable gap, or a 3-inch gap, and then my joist. So I'm confirming that my placement is correct before I just kind of send everything. So simple methods often work best.
Time to send it.
One side and the other. Hardware goes next. Yeah, they send a bunch of little wrenches, which is great because not everyone has a full set of tools. Sometimes I take it a little bit for granted that I do, or you question like, oh, why would they send that? Well, because not everyone has this stuff.
Time to feed the cable through the pulleys.
I think for the sake of my sanity in installing this properly, it's gotta move. Can you tell I need more storage space?
And here's cable number 2.
Okay, I was a little surprised by this, and kind of in a good way. They really do make it nice and easy to install this stuff. Look, this side faces up. Because the paper directions said the side with the more wires faces up, and I'm thinking to myself, well, that might be somewhat open to interpretation, but no, clearly labeled. All right, we are getting mighty close to the finish here. Winding pole time. There's 2 screws on here so you can adjust the height. Moment of truth. We can disengage the safety. Hook it back on. Well, that works awesome. That is fantastic. I think the next thing everyone probably wants to know is, does it really hold 300 pounds? So let's do that. $45, $90, so 45, there's 180, $275, 300. All right, so you can put 300 pounds on it. It's gonna out-torque at least my drill, so.
And in fairness, it doesn't say anywhere you can use a drill.
Whew. So, definitely could put 300 pounds on there. I'm not going to wind it all the way to the ceiling because I don't want to have to wind it all the way back down to take all the weights off, but definitely supports it. I'm more than comfortable putting that kind of weight on there, but I don't think I'm actually going to have any kind of weight like that on there on a permanent basis. Little doggy bike trailers and kids trailers and toys for outside. I think that's my end goal here, but let's wind this down and try some real stuff. No storage upgrade video would be complete without lots of bins, so I think that's the question on everyone else's mind probably at this stage is, how well does it fit bins? And I think the short answer is quite well. So I've got 4 27-gallon bins on here. And they honestly do fit quite nicely. Could definitely do 2 stacks if you wanted to, provided they're not super heavy. Now, who doesn't love that? Not even in frame anymore. Goodness. So they tuck up really well against the ceiling. I'm happy with that. You know, if you got tall enough ceilings like I do, you're really unobstructed. This is great. Doesn't mess with my lighting too much. I got a lot of ceiling lights, as you guys can see. Probably could even put a battery light just on the bottom if you're really worried about that. Time for a little wrap up, some things I like and things I don't like. Likes are how easy it was to install. The instructions were really clear, the template made it foolproof. It just works as advertised, I guess. Yeah, in general, I mean, it comes and it hangs flat. You don't have to fiddle with it. At least I didn't. You just run the cables exactly as they say. And yeah, it's hanging perfectly flat. Fits bins good. It'll support the 300 pounds, just like they say. You know, make sure you guys are in joists, nothing else. Don't like, it's all piddly stuff. So there were a couple of stickers that when I peeled off, I had to come back with Goo Gone to really clean it up. That's just minor. I think everybody does that. And I really wish my drill would power it when it was under 300 pounds load. But realistically, I think that's kind of down to my drill, and it's a cheater method to do it nice and quick. But that's, I don't think, any fault of Fleximounts, certainly not because they didn't say it's supposed to do that. I'm not going to have that much weight on there. I'm going to use the drill as a nice little cheater, fast up and down. The handle works great. It's not too hard to crank. Even with the 300 pounds up on there, I'm not really bearing down on it, trying cranking it up and down. It was easy. A little slow, but I think that is part of its safe nature. It's got a worm gear gearbox, I'm pretty sure, up in that corner, and that's so it can't free fall when it's under a lot of weight. So these things are set up that way by design, and I would rather have it be safe than fast. And yeah, it's been great. I'm enjoying it, and I think I have space for another, so I think I'm probably going to purchase another for slightly forward in my garage. But thank you to Fleximounts for sending me this for review. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys think, what you guys have used for your storage solutions. God knows I have more shelves and racks and toys than I probably should, but you know, when you want to go out on the weekend and have fun with your puppies and your wife, you accumulate some toys, so that's a small price to pay. So thank you for watching, guys, and I will catch you in the next video. So the puppies are back, and they want to know what I'm doing with their trailer. Here's the real intended use. Perfect storage solution. Huh? All right, puppies?